All right. Hi, everyone. It is Queen Cole here, your host and curator of Light the Path podcast. And today we're going to be talking about finding the balance because the definition of what balance means to each of us is different. But there are some universal ways and truths for us to insert it into our lives because we need a healthy work-life balance to truly be healthy and happy. Others like me, I believe that your body, your mind, your soul must be in balance to truly be at peace and in life to be in harmony. So today, we have joining me on the show today is Angelica, an alignment strategist. Now, y'all know y'all need this right now with COVID-19. We're in a global pandemic. We're going through an election year. Y'all, we need an alignment strategist that's going to help us. And today she's going to talk to us about how she helps women in business with their goals, schedules, and processes to create work-life balance. So help me welcome Angelica.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Thank you for being on Light the Path today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Yes, I am excited to talk with you. I can't wait to get in this conversation. So, how are you doing? Like I said in the introduction, we're going through a global pandemic. We're teaching kids at home. There are, social distance restrictions, everything that's going on. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. COVID has definitely taken a spin on my personal life. We've had several deaths in the family, and not being able to be there in person for funerals or whatnot was just a kind of strange feeling. But
Mhm.
I'm also embracing what COVID has brought to me and my family by um, connecting more and connecting to myself even more, being able to meditate and really get closer to God. So I'm really utilizing this to my benefit instead of looking at it as just a problem every day, because that can drive you crazy.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm sorry to hear about the deaths in your family, and that was a strange thing for me also hearing, that only a certain amount of people can come out for funerals. That really, gave me anxiety because I'm like, I don't want to have to go through it, and thinking of the possibilities, can have your head going a little bit loop de loop.
Yes. So it just took this year. I have to say, from March and even now, there's been a lot of soul searching and finding myself and what's the new me supposed to be in this type of environment now. Especially with you not being able to connect with girlfriends or other family members. From March to I think July, we saw no family outside of my husband and son here at home. We saw no family, which we always see family. And the first
Right.
time we were able to see them for just like an hour and a half or so was in July. So that was just really strange. But positive side to that, we started doing a lot of Zooms, and the family started doing book readings together. So we started reading a book together. And then every Sunday, we would get on a Zoom call and do group discussions. We started doing Pictionary online, doing, game nights and stuff like that. So you have been making the best of it just through like Zoom and other streaming sites.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you. And I'm glad that you're going to be on the show today to help us all get and find, that balance that we're looking for.
Yes. Yeah, and I do. I just want to just to tell you, I'm so glad to be here, and I wanted to let your audience know that I do have a free offer for anyone regarding your goals are really important now because a lot of us had to redo goals or adjust them, tweak them a little bit, and maybe you had to remove some
Yes.
things that you can no longer do at this point in time with everything going on. So I do have a free email course called Rock Your Vision, where once a week for 5 weeks, you will actually get an email from me teaching you something and step by step. So every week you just work on one section. And by the end, you would have your plan of, okay, this is what I'm going to be working on. And then you start plotting it out and doing the action items that you need to get it done. But I just believe goals are so important um, it's how you get to the next level.
Absolutely. Thank you for that free offer. I can't wait for everyone to jump in on that. So, how can they redeem the free offer? Tell us
Free
that.
offer, you can just go to my website, is angelicagmiller.com, and you can just sign up for the free email course right on. It's on the first page, so you're able to find it very quickly.
Okay, thank you. Y'all make sure y'all do that. Go to AngelicaGmiller.com so that way you can get that free offer. Well, thank you for that extension. What I like to ask the guests, since we're all in the same boat, but in different storms right now. What have you tried new lately?
So lately, what I've tried new is fasting. I have a group of great friends that are also moms or taking care of other people, and but we're also have our businesses too,
Yeah.
and we've really gelled together to through our ups and downs or whatnot, being able to have that network to help talk you through things as women do. So we decided to do a fasting, but the fasting was we could not do any social media. Of course, we wasn't eating; we were drinking liquids. But for 12 hours, we couldn't look at any social media. You could only do educational things or spiritual things or meditation.
Okay.
It had to be all positive. So for 12 hours, you were literally getting all kind of wealth of information in your mind to help take you to that next level or to help you um, stop the clutter that's in your mind, that self-talk, sometimes that negative self-talk. And I
Yeah.
found after doing that for 12 hours, it was just amazing what I accomplished in that day, and really not paying attention to social media for that day, for those 12 hours, that we decided that we're probably going to start doing this once a month, because it was just, and so we prayed together at the beginning and then prayed together again at the end. So it was just really something special. But that was something new I tried this year.
Well, that sounds real good. I mean, especially if we think about the time that we are just, i.e., on social media. So to be able to fast from that, that is absolutely wonderful. So kudos to you all. And now that y'all been doing it for a while, you're going to extend it. So that's really good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, continue to try new things.
Yes.
Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the importance of work-life balance. Tell us that. What is your take on that? How important is it?
Work life balance is so important. And the negative side, things that when you don't have work life balance, there is a negative side. And the negative side is you start missing out on family events. You start putting your hobbies aside, things that you used to love to do. You're no longer doing them because you're either working 10, 12, 16 hours a day. So you start missing out on those things that are really important. And yourself, family, and friends should always be at the top of your list. And then comes work.
Absolutely.
Then you add those work things in. You start when you don't have work life balance, you start missing going to the gym. You start missing, eating right, because you're so focused on that and so stressed on that that you're eating and healthy living habits kind of change. And you also start those roadblocks like fear, and you
Mm,
that chatter. You start to compare yourself with other people that may be in your industry, just because they're doing so they're doing so well, and you feel like you're stagnant. So that self chatter in your head starts. And if you had work life balance, you would be able to breathe a little bit more and be able to do some of those other things that help you create balance and make you feel like you're there 100%. It was kind of interesting. I looked up in the dictionary what work life balance was, and they say it's a situation in which one divides or balances one's time between work and activities outside of work. And they had a sentence in there that said it's hard to achieve a reasonable work life balance when you run your own business. And that is true, partly, but I don't truly believe that. Work life balance is different for everyone because no one's situation is the same, no one's lifestyle is the same. You just have to come up with the tools that work for you. You can't always do what maybe Mary did. That's Mary's life and how she handles things. You have to really try to figure out what it is for you. And I was recently started following a company called Kuman, Commanu, I'm sorry. And it was kind of interesting their take on work life balance. And they have it as defining work life balance today is no easy task, which is so true. Digital integration encourages an always on culture, blurring the line between work and personal life. Modern work life balance may need to look beyond balancing time and balancing energy. And I think that is so true. This company actually works with organizations to create growth and work life balance in their companies, to build that different culture, because I've worked in companies where it's just back to back meetings. It's like, where do you get time to get the work done? That's
Right.
not balance. You preach work life balance, but you're not integrating it within your organization where people feel really truly feel they have work life balance. So
Yeah, I absolutely love what you're saying because I mean, one word that jumped out to me was your energy. And
mhm,
I used to be the kind of parent when I was married and I had young children. I would think that, working, working, working. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna miss things, but I would think in my brain like I would overcompensate. I found myself overcompensating because I would miss things
mhm,
because I'm working, 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 trying to get my kids things, and
right. Yeah.
there was no balance with
Then you
it.
start to feel guilty, especially as they get older and you start looking back and it's like, wow, I missed out on that. I missed out on this. And it can be done. It's just finding that right way and making sure when I hear people say they don't use a planner of any sort, I cringe because how are you maneuvering through life? You have to have a blueprint somewhere, and it can't just be in your head because everything can't fit in there because there's a lot of chatter going on throughout the day anyways.
Yes.
So I just it really, I really get nervous when people say they don't do not either write their goals down and they do not use a planner of some source. It could be electronic, it could be physical. I use a physical planner because I love writing things down and things come out of my head a lot better. But my one thing, getting back to the work life balance, my description of work life balance is where each individual takes a 360 look at their goals, their needs, their career or business to come up with a blueprint that creates work life balance for their lifestyle. You have to create work life balance, you have to be looking at four key areas of your life at all times. And your goals need to be in front of your face at all times. And that means when you get up in the morning, you should be looking at your goals to see what's going on. Before you go to bed, you should be looking at your goals. Because if you don't keep them in the forefront, you start forgetting about them and other things start coming to the forefront, making you more excited versus the goals that you have.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely that kind of person also that has to write it down. And you mentioned a planner. I think that's a great idea. So is that probably one of the main things you think someone can use to achieve that work-life balance?
Yes, to create your work life balance. And one thing I think people, and especially for people do wrong, and my business is always focused on women. That's where I'm at, helping women in the coaching and consulting fields. And without a planner, and you get lost. And without your planner, when you use your planner, you need to have one planner that has your personal life and your business life. You shouldn't have separate. It should be both because both of them intertwine at all times. So say you're working,
Repeat that again. Repeat that again because you broke up a little bit. Repeat that again. They should have what?
they should have you should be using two planners at all times, one planner at all times. And the one planner should include your personal things you need to do, and it should also include your business things you need to do, because you need to see them side by side of what's going on and how you plan your day. If you're looking at business on one side and having that filled up, but then you forgot, oh my God, I got to take Susie to the doctor's, or I got my doctor's appointment, it's not
Right.
in there. So
Hmm.
to me, the logical choice is use one planner for both. And one planner that I working with clients, I have a coaching program, and one thing that I'm starting to do, and that is that when they sign up, I actually send them a planner that I feel is just phenomenal, and it's the Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt. That is just, if you're goal oriented, and if you're not, you need to use that planner. It is absolutely amazing.
That sounds good, but you made some very good points, especially like having your personal and your business all together. And what I did, I went a little bit step further. It's probably crazy, but I put the kids stuff in a different color. And then when I started seeing too many colors on one thing, I
Mm-hmm.
have different colors. My personal stuff, what I want to achieve, my business things, my church things, my children's things. And then when I start seeing a whole bunch of rainbow, I'm like, okay, it's
That
only 24 hours in a day.
What you said is so key. And I actually have a free video on my Facebook page regarding that, showing you how to block your time and the importance of blocking your time and the importance of having colors for every single thing. Because when you see that color, it reminds you, triggers you right away. Oh, I have to, oh, this is an important meeting. I got to get going. Or it
Mhm.
triggers you that, oh, this is something personal for my children. So the kids have a different color versus what my personal things are versus what the family color is. And it
Yeah.
might seem at first overwhelming, but give yourself 21 days to 30 days and it'll be second nature to you.
Yes, yes. I have a little zipper pouch. I have my
Yeah.
little gel markers, and I just get to create it.
Yeah. Here's
And
my box of mail markers, all colors in this one.
yes, I have to. I have to. And even committing to things in person or somebody sends me something, if it doesn't serve me, I would just straight up say no, no, thank you.
Right.
But then if it's something that I think I can take time for, I will say, let me get back with you because I have to get back to my physical calendar. I do use my phone as reminders, but
Right.
I feel like the reminders because of notifications and stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like it can not get my attention as much as this planner. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
definitely love hearing that you're doing that coaching the women. So that's great. How has scheduling helped you or your clients this year, especially?
Scheduling is so key. And for when I work with clients, there are a couple of steps. So, one thing um, with scheduling, it should be telling you, and it's kind of, I'm going to use scheduling and your calendar kind of interchangeable right now.
Okay.
Because when you're scheduling, your calendar should be telling you a story, a wonderful story about your life. It should not be telling you a nightmare. You should
I
not have a
like the way
nightmare
that sounds.
when you open your planner or when you open your electronic planner. It should be telling you a story. It should be telling you the story of what's going on in your family, what needs to be done. It should be also telling you a story of what are the work things that I need to do this week to get me closer and closer to my goal. It should not be telling you things that you should not be participating in. Um, we all want to either help, we all want to be involved in a lot of things, especially with business, but it's kind of a distraction. So it should be no distractions on your calendar.
Yeah.
Um, your calendar should be also telling you in your schedules, it should be saying when you're going to look at emails, when you're going to look at social media. You block the time, and that's the only time you're doing that in that day. Your schedule tells you a story. And like I said, I've worked with some people and you open their calendar and it's like, well, when do you have time to do anything? You keep saying, I can't get work done. Well, you're not building it into your schedule. That's why you're not getting work done.
Yeah.
You're just building meetings upon meetings upon meetings. And a lot of us, we're doing podcast interviews, we're playing Facebook Live interviews. Those should be scheduled and for a certain block of time in your schedule. So, say if you were a blogger and you needed to create content for the week, and you also needed to get the visuals and all of that, you block that time out. Maybe Monday from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. for those 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. you would just say writing content. And that's all you're going to do in that block of time is write content. Make sure you're taking breaks in there. Every hour you should be taking a transition break to get your mind back flowing again. And then you go to the next thing, whatever that next thing is. And then maybe pick another day where you're doing you're shooting your videos or you're taking pictures. Don't do them on the same day where you're feeling really overwhelmed. Break them up.
Yeah.
That way, today I'm only writing. That's all I'm focusing on. And then maybe Tuesday you spend a 1 hour block just editing, making sure that content, the wording you put together sounds right. So you're re-looking at that draft. And then maybe on a Friday, that's your day. You pick a couple of hours to do the graphics and everything. But you just have to piece it, spread it out. Everything doesn't have to be done at one time. There's multiple tasks within building your content and getting it on your site or whatnot. Break those steps out so you don't feel overwhelmed during the process. Your schedule should also be I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of. I have found that, once I start working with my clients and we look through everything and we clear up, declutter, and it's really
Mhm.
just decluttering.
Yeah.
It works so much better for them. And then we all had to tweak, this year with COVID and everything, and just be open to tweaking and make sure in your schedule you build in transition time. Transition time is so important. And what I mean by transition time, say you have a meeting from 8 to 9, then the
Mhm.
next 15, 20 minutes, you put nothing in there. You,
Okay.
you get up, you go get a drink of water, you
Okay.
may stretch, do whatever that creates more energy for yourself. And every time you do something, if you have a meeting, whatever, when it ends, block out 15 to 20 minutes before you transition to the next thing because your mind needs time to shut down and reset itself.
I like that. I don't think I've ever heard of transition time.
Yeah, you
That's
have
real
to.
good.
I,
Now, time blocking, I love time blocking
mhm.
because your girl, I don't know if y'all been listening or not, but I love a good afternoon nap.
Oh, those are the best.
So time blocking has actually helped me be
Mhm.
able to schedule in a nap before I jump and run to the next thing. But what you're saying is what I like. I've never heard about transitional time, and that is key. Wow.
You have to transition. You cannot go back to back to back. That's just as bad as multitasking, doing multiple things at one time. You can't. You burn out or you miss something. But giving yourself that transition time throughout the day, it's not just one time a day, it's throughout your schedule. Throughout that day, you should be building in transition time. You,
I
you,
love
you
that.
have to.
You blew my mind with that. I'm gonna take that. I will be using that this week for my scheduling. So thank you for that great tip. Tell me this though: how do you regroup when you find yourself struggling to keep up with the speed of changes? Because everything has, I mean, from January, we were Happy New Year, 2020 vision, and whatever else that we were saying. And then March, boom, shutdowns, this and that. And changes were happening so quickly. Okay, now we're going to be ready for Easter to reopen. Easter come, we got our Easter dress and hat and
Mhm.
nothing. So how can you help us regroup when we're struggling to keep up with the speed of changes?
Mm, one thing that's key is your morning ritual. You have to set your mind
Mm,
right before the day gets started. And if you set your mind right before the day gets started, other things kind of fall in line for you. And what I mean by your morning rituals, this is something it's for you personally. It's for me, my morning ritual is, I do my gratitude statements first before my feet hit the floor. I do gratitude because you know how you could be dreaming or sleeping, you could wake up in a bad mood.
yeah.
So I do gratitude before my feet hit the floor. And then my day starts with, prayer, meditation, some form of exercise. It could be just stretching. It doesn't have to be anything big at that point. And but I have a morning ritual that sets me up first for greatness and sets me up to start the process right. So that's the one thing, because you got to have your mind right. But you also have to, in my opinion, with how the world changed, you should have been re-looking at your goals and maybe take some of them out. You
Okay.
had to do them all this year, especially with
Yeah.
how the world changed. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you had to do them all this year. You could have pulled some out so you can feel less pressure, take that stress off yourself. And that's okay. Focus on that one big thing for you that's going to
Yeah.
help your business, still to keep move your business forward. But it doesn't mean you had to deal with all 5 different projects that you had planned at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Some of them you may not have been able to do, but you could tweak, or you can no, that I think that's, to me, it is relooking at your goals and making sure, give yourself that space and that freedom to say, yeah, this was a great idea, because at the beginning of the year I thought it was going to be this way. Well, the world changed. So
Yeah.
now I need to adjust and make some breathing room for myself, because you figure, with deaths, being in your home all day by yourself, I feel sorry for people who don't have someone else in the home with them, because that has to be stressful after a while.
Yeah.
And I'm an introvert. I like being by myself. Um, but giving yourself that freedom to say, okay, yeah, this was a great idea, but I'm not going to work on all 5 of these goals. I think I'm just going to pick 2 for 2020.
Yeah, I like that. That's very encouraging. Then you don't feel defeated. You
No,
feel,
you don't.
you can still find success in it. So I like that.
Give
Thank
yourself
you for sharing.
grace. You have to give yourself grace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I like to ask the guests that come on, what are you currently reading anything, or what's your favorite book?
So I'm currently reading this. It's called The Law of Divine Compensation by Marie Williamson. And
Mm,
it's all about on work, money, and miracles. It's all about your mindset and how you treat others and how you treat yourself and how you give forgiveness. And this was actually one of the books my family was reading together. And my family seems to be, it's so weird. We're all have an entrepreneur spirit. So this just
wow.
kind of was very interesting to hear all of our thoughts, processes. And this was from my son, who's 19, up until, my husband and his brother and my sister-in-law and my nieces and nephews. We were all
Yeah.
doing it. So this one was a really good one, and I'm just finishing this one up. So I really like that. But I wanted to tell your guest, your subconscious mind is one of the big things that helps push you forward or helps you hold yourself back. This book right here, I don't know if you can see it, is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. This,
Ah,
this
okay.
is a book I go back to constantly. It
Mm,
might seem thick, but it's a very quick read. But it deals with how do you stop that chatter going so much in your mind, and it just gives you a wealth of tips on how to reprogram your subconscious mind for the positive versus always looking at the negative. You
yeah.
telling yourself negative things. And then my last one
Okay.
I keep going back to is High Performance Habits. And this is by
Ah,
Brendan Burchard, who I think he's just amazing what he does to help people elevate themselves to the next level. And this is not a book, this is a book you read, but this is a book you're going to keep going back to because it has so many different tips. And as your goals change and your life change, you got to go back because you need to always rework it. So it's a book I always keep on my
mhm.
bookshelf, the High Performance Habits. So those are the 3 that I recommend.
Okay. I love that. And I love to me, I love a good book like that that you can go back to at
Mhm.
different periods of your life and get new things. I
Yeah,
love that. So I definitely
yeah.
need to add those to my list. So thank you for sharing
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry. Then you also need to add this one, Lisa Nichols, Abundance Now. This is another good book that
Okay.
you need to put on your bookshelf. Keep it on your bookshelf because You cannot, like, you could read it through, but there's work that you have to do when you read this book. She gives you some serious homework to help you change, help
Okay,
you get
I
better.
like Lisa Nichols. I like
Yeah.
Lisa Nichols. I like her. One of the things that I've taken adapted from her is the pitch. Who do you know? Dot dot dot.
Oh, okay. I haven't
Mhm.
heard that one.
Yeah, so just say I'm looking for a guest, opposed to me just saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a guest for the
Uh-huh.
podcast." I would say, "Who do you know? I'm looking for a chef. I'm looking for a this. I'm looking for
Okay.
that." Because that gives it doesn't give pressure to you. Like, well, I'm not. I don't want to be on a podcast, but you may know a chef, an author, a dressmaker. So
Okay.
you would say, "Okay, hey." You may call somebody else and say, "Hey, I saw this post," and then give it to that. It gives you it opens up you to other people that somebody else knows. And I got that. I adapted that from
Okay.
Lisa Nichols saying, who do you know? Because it may not be you, and then that's just a no. So
Right.
in
Right.
order to open up to a maybe,
And so she has a wealth of tips. I just love her, and I love how freely she gives that training. So I've been following her since the book, the movie, The Secret came out, and she was on Oprah Winfrey's chair, sitting there talking. And I'm like, Oprah had this amazing cast on there, but it was like I just zoomed in on Lisa because she was real.
yeah, yeah.
Somebody like it could be my girlfriend or it could be my sister. That's how real she is, and to see where she came from and where she took her life is just amazing.
Yes, and I love that. I love that she shares transparently and then
Hmm.
very authentic. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. I'm definitely a fan and supporter of her as well. Before I let you go, to help light the path for someone else, what do we need to do right now to prepare for 2021?
Okay, to prepare for 2021, before you can prepare for 2021, step one is you need to look at your 2020. You need to go back from now to the beginning of the year and look at what your goals were. Are you on track for those? Are you not on track? Do you need to tweak them? What do you need to do? Are you going to finish them out for 2021? We have what, almost 2 months left, 2 months and a week left. You need to go back and look at what worked and what did not work for you, because you don't want to carry that over into 2021. So you really need to do, sorry, that's my dog coming in.
That's
So
okay.
you really do need to wrap up 2020. And I don't mean wrap up by the end of the year. Now you should be looking at 2020 and saying back to January, what worked and did not work for you. And step two, you need to start building your schedule now for 2021. I know that might sound crazy, but it's not. So 2021, you should be first looking at your personal items. Right now, the school year always has the next year's calendar. So if you have kids, you need to be plotting all that out. Those parent teachers conference, when school's going to be closed, you should be plotting that already in your 2021 calendar. Then you should be plotting when you want to take vacation. You need to plot those dates in your calendar. You need to be plotting your doctor's appointments. Well, I got a mammogram I need to take next year, and you only usually get those once a year. So you can you wouldn't have a specific date, but you'll know which month you need to do that in. And always put your personal and family things in your calendar first, and then build your business things around those. That will, that will, personal family functions. That will protect you from missing doing those hobbies that you love. That will protect you from date nights with your husband or significant other. You have to do things for you first before you put the business
Yeah.
piece in. Then you start plotting your business piece in. You'll say, so maybe you'll decide I'm only traveling on business, once a quarter. Start planning out when you want to travel. So that way, when people come in and say, hey, I need you to come to a training or blah, 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 I have this conference, you say, okay, I'm available at this time. And if they say no, that don't work, then you can look at your schedule for 2021 and say, okay, well, here are two other options I have that work
Okay.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
If they're asking you to do something, they need to be kind of conforming to what your schedule is. So if the first
Yeah.
option, I always give people three options. Here are the three options when I'm available. Let me know what
Mm-hmm.
you select. And then finally, make sure you're building in your morning rituals and your evening rituals. We talked a little bit earlier about creating your morning rituals, and your evening rituals, you need to be building those in every single day, 365 days a year. What is your morning ritual to get you set up for the day? What is your evening ritual to get you to slow down and get your mind ready for the next day? And that means, getting your clothes out. What are you going to wear for the next day? You know, what papers or presentations do I need for a specific meeting? Getting
Yeah.
all those necessary things ready before you go to bed. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you're not rushing around. It's all done and taken care of.
Yes. Yes, those are great tips. I can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait to implement some of the things that you said today. Thank you for sharing all that. Before I let you go, I want you to also let everyone know where they can follow you on social media, and then also reiterate where they can get the free offer from.
Okay. Oh, sure. All my platforms, Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm at Angelica G. Miller. That's how you would find me there. My website is also angelicagmiller.com. And then on LinkedIn, I'm Angelica underscore G Miller G underscore Miller for there. Let me say that again. Angelica underscore G underscore Miller for Instagram. So you can find me in all those three places. And my free offer, once again, is called Rock Your Vision. It's a goal planning course, but it's all done online. It's DIY. You would do it at your own pace. But every week, I would send you an email explaining what you need to do to get to that final step. So, and you can find that on my website. Angelica G. Miller is right on the homepage. So to make it a little bit easier for you, and just sign up for that. And as soon as you hit submit, you should be receiving an email within a few minutes. It's getting you started. So
Okay.
this has been so fun, so much fun.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for sharing and dropping all of these things. We are going to be ready to finish out this year strong, and we're going to be getting ready for 2021. So thank you so much again for being on Light the Path.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.